morning. How are we doing? Okay, I'm going to keep this short and sweet, okay, because I know we don't have a lot of time to sit and watch videos all the time, okay? So I'm going to do a quick run through 10 tips, okay, for mature skin when using and choosing skincare and makeup, okay? So if you are struggling with those sorts of things, let me know, and have a watch of this and let me know what you think. Now, I'm going to give you some tips. Now, if you are, loving the way you do your makeup and everything else, take this with a pinch of salt. I'm just giving some quick advice, okay? So if you already love wearing like bright coloured eyeshadows or whatever it is, then you carry on doing what you want to do. There are no rules, but I'm just going to give you a few top tips in keeping yourself, looking after your mature skin, but also when you're putting makeup on, what sort of things to avoid and what sort of things to do to make your makeup sort of sit more flawlessly, okay? So, number one. Just remember, makeup should be fun, okay? It should be fun, we should enjoy this, okay? Skin prep. So I've talked about this, I'm not going to go too much into this, but it's really important when putting on your makeup that you look after your skin first. It doesn't matter how much money you spend on makeup. If your skin is not prepped first, you're not going to get the best sort of sitting on your face, okay? Hi Lucy, how you doing? So make sure you're exfoliating. You want to exfoliate and get rid of any of those dead skin cells to sort of remove the dullness of the skin and sort of bring on that natural glow, okay? Next thing you want to do is you want to make sure you're moisturising. Now, there's different ways to moisturise. If you have more dry skin, you're going to want to opt for like a heavier sort of moisturiser. It's going to push more moisture into your face. If, however, you do suffer from breakouts, things like that, you probably want to go down more of a serum-based route, okay? So depending on your skin, depends on what sort of moisturisers and serums you should be using. So we want to go, by doing that, we want to just get that glow, okay? So using a nice facial oil, something like that, or a serum is going to get that glow back, and that is super, super important. Next thing you want to be doing is foundation, okay? Foundation is really important. Now, with mature skin, whether you've got heavy set wrinkles, anything like that, you want to opt for a lighter foundation or something that is more creamy based, okay? You want to avoid dry things, but I'll go into powders shortly. So don't go heavy, go for a more dewy base, okay? So we want to go, thank you, thanks, it's all chopped off, isn't it? I woke up this morning and was like, oh, is my hair gone? So you want to go for a more dewy base. So whether that is blending your actual current foundation in with like an oil or choosing a more cream based foundation, that is the way to go. But the most important thing, don't put too much on. Okay, really, really important. You do not want to put too much on because it's going to look heavy, it's going to cake, it's just not going to look right, okay? And if you're going for a matte look, it's just going to dry out and it's going to crack. So we want to get as much moisture into the face as possible. So things like BB creams, that sort of thing, are probably going to be a better option for you. Concealer, okay. You don't want to use too heavy a concealer, okay? You want to use something quite light. Opt for something more creamy. If you're finding your concealer is sitting in your lines, try and go for something more creamy. Whether that's blending it with an oil, you could try that. So it's going to help sort of sit better on your skin. Or if you just opt for a more creamy based concealer, that is going to be better for going under your eyes, okay? And also don't just go under the eyes, come down, create your triangle, which is going to lift your face. Okay, next. Now, the other thing about concealer before I move on is you're generally going to need to set that concealer in place, okay? So by using something like a translucent powder, okay? Like one of these, yeah? A bit of powder, but this is what I'm going to go on to. You don't want to use too much powder. So number 4.4 is powder. Don't put too much powder on the face. Yes, you can take a touch, yeah? So you can take a touch of powder, and you could pat it maybe where it just looks a bit dewier, just very light amount. But you do not want to pack powder onto your face because the powder is going to sit in your lines, okay? So you want to avoid that. So we want to aim, as I said before, for that dewiness and going for that BB cream, more cream-based foundations. Now, the reason we don't want to use too much powder is because what it does is it sucks the moisture out of your skin, okay? So you'll find that it will start to crack and your fine lines and your wrinkles will become more prominent, so you want to avoid that, okay? So if you are going to use a bit of powder, perhaps you don't like that dewy look, just dust it on, gently, lightly dust it on, okay? Next thing, brows. Brows, and we all know how important brows are to my face, okay? I think most of you have seen what I look like without my brows on, okay? Brows frame the face. They are so important. So if you have very sparse brows, consider a brow liner or using an eyeshadow to fill your brows, or a brow palette. You want to try and get those brows shaped, okay? So that is super important. Next, eyeshadows. Right, now, this is one, I'm not saying don't use colour, because you can use colour. My main tip here, if you do have pretty, like, if you have quite crepey eyelids, or sort of more, what's the word? What's the word? I've got some notes, trying to remember what I was going to say. Hooded lids, that sort of thing. You want to try and avoid more glittery, sparkly sort of eyeshadows, just because what's going to happen is that as throughout the day, because you've got that more skin and everything here, the glitter's just going to spread across your face and over your eyes. So you want to try and opt for something more matte, ideally. And just because you want to avoid highlighting any of those fine lines, okay? So that's really important. And also, if you are going to use a more sort of sparkly or metallic base that you want to do, which is absolutely fine. I'm not saying don't do that. I'm just giving you some advice in regards to it. Don't go above the lid, okay? Keep it on the lid itself. Next thing, now eyeliner. Okay, so I've done this quite just to show you on my eyes, okay? So I've taken a little bit of powder and I've just popped it up to like the middle point here and down, and then just at the edges here, just to slightly define my eyes. I've not put a lot on. Now, what I would recommend is you want to go for a very light liner at the top of the eyes. So whether that's using like a very thin amount of a liquid liner, you can almost dot it between the lashes. Or if you use a eyeshadow, just to gently, softly line the top of the eye. Now, if you do that, always do it at the bottom as well, if you can. Or if you're going to do, well, actually more like, okay, right, get my words twisted here today. I don't know what's wrong with me. It's my daughter's 3rd birthday. So it's all been a bit hectic this morning. So if you have lined under your eye, always line on top, because you want to even it out, okay? That's quite important. Now, the other thing you want to do is, if you are doing that, you don't want to just put the liner at the bottom, because what's going to happen is it's going to drag the bottom of your lid down, just make your eyes appear more downwards, like droopy, and drag them down. So you just want to try and do a little liner at the bottom. Can you just see I've got a little bit of darkness here up to the corner, okay? That is quite important. In regards to mascara, now do a lighter lift of mascara, just a lighter light wisp, okay? Don't put it too heavy underneath, because that could actually highlight any bags that you have underneath your eyes. Just like literally take your mascara wand, okay, like this. Use the tip and just literally just touch the ends of those lashes rather than sweeping down, because that's just going to drag again your eyes down. So you want to kind of avoid that. Right, next thing, blusher. Now, if you want to lift your face, you kind of want to bring your blusher further up your cheekbones, okay? So running it upwards rather than just on the apples, because that's going to help draw your face up and pull your face up and add a bit more colour coming upwards, okay? As we get older, like, we do tend to lose a bit more like pigmentation in our skin, so it's good to put that colour back in, but try and put it at the tops here to bring it upwards, but very subtly, okay? Another thing, so highlighters. So if you like a highlighter and you've got more mature skin, maybe you've got like more deep set wrinkles or that sort of thing, you want to avoid using, as I said before, powder. Okay, so you want to opt for a highlighter that's more cream based, that you can just gently press into the skin. Whether that's, you know, you can create your own cream base as well. So if you do have like a powder highlighter, try mixing a bit of like a serum or anything in with it. So just scrape a little bit of your powder out, pop it in the back of your hand, add a bit of serum. I wonder if I can show you what I mean. I've got my scraper to hand. I'll do this in another video. I will show you in another video how to do this. Scrape a little bit of the powder out, even if you just take, right? Okay, say you take a little bit of your, I'm just going to use the bronzer in this option. I don't want to scrape too much because I love this stuff. But pop it onto the back of your hand and then take oil, I don't think I've got any oil, and just mix it together and it'll make like a cream. and then you can pat that on. So if you do find that, thanks Lucy, how are you? You okay? Had the chop, needed chopping. So that is what you want to do, okay? So you want to go for a liquidy highlighter and put it at the tops of the cheeks, okay? And then finally, as we get older, our lips start to lose their colour, okay? You'll find they start to go a bit more sort of neutral. They haven't got the pinkiness to them anymore. So, and they'll also naturally thin, okay? So what you want to try and opt for is like, and I have mentioned this before in a previous post about lipsticks, it's more of like a deeper pink sort of colour. You probably want to avoid the really beige colours. You just want to go for something with a bit of colour in it, okay? Just to like lift your face rather than sort of the more paler colours, because it's actually going to add a bit of boost and a pop of colour to your face. So hopefully that was useful, okay? Hopefully you learned something from there. As I said, it's, you know, it's things to help you avoid looking older, right? These are sort of those sort of tips, but makeup should be fun, and take it with a pinch of salt. If you love wearing glittery eyeshadow and you like how it looks, you do it, okay? Just do what you want to do. These are just a few little tips to help you and guide you in regards to that. So hopefully that was useful, and I will see you later. Thanks for watching. Bye.